Hello everyone and welcome to yet another deck profile, and today we're gonna be looking at Zoroark EX that got 7th place at Worlds this past weekend. So, first of all, looking at the deck list, we have a pretty standard 4-4 line of Zoroark EX, which is gonna be our main attacker, and we're gonna use it as a draw engine as well because the trade ability is also powerful. We also have 3 Monkey Dories so that we can return the damage that is done to our Pokemon back onto our opponent's side of the field. And we also have 2 Ants Reshirams whose attacks we are going to copy. And funny enough, usually what we are used to see with Zoroark EX is also the use of Ensdermanitan. Usually there was a 1-1 or 2-2 line of Ensdermanitan also in the deck. But in this case, there is no Ensdermanitan. We are relying strictly on Ens Reshiram. And we're also having our classic support Pokemon such as Blood Moon Ursa Luna EX and Fezandipity EX. And funny enough, we also have 2 other attackers that are not going to be Ents Pokemon, and that is the Wellspring Mask Ogrepon, which can bend snipe or lock our opponent's Pokemon in the active, depending on which attack we're gonna use. And we also have the Cornerstone Mask Ogrepon for its wall ability by not being able to be hit or damaged by opponents' Pokemon that have abilities. So for the trainer part, there is nothing really special on the supporter side. We do have 1 energy switch, which is a cool addition, so we can switch energies from one Zoroark to the other. We also have 1 Ens PP up, which can accelerate 1 dark energy to one of well, 1 energy from the discard to one of our benched Ens Pokemon. We also have TM Turbo Energize, so we can load energies onto our benched Pokemon in the first turn going second. We also have TM Evo, once again for the first turn going second. Depends on which route we deem is better to take. We also have 1 air balloon to give the Zoroarks free retreat in case they bump our stadium. And for the energies, we have 7 dark and 1 fighting because, well, we need the fighting energy for our cornerstone Ogrepon. So, talking a little bit about the matchups, you want to be going probably first, or second, my bad, so that we can use the TM Evos and the TM Turbo Energize. If we go first, we just hope that they don't knock out our Zoruas, so we can evolve them into Zoroarks and start attacking in the following turn. And talking a little bit about the matchups, there are a couple of really good ones, couple of really bad ones, and yeah, that's basically it. There is not much in between. The matchup is either really good or really bad. And among the really good ones are the Dragapult Dusknoir, because, well, we can hit them for 170 and they can't one-hit knockout us in return, and then we can use the first attack of the Ants Reshiram, plus we can use the Monkey Doris, so we can really do some crazy damage manipulation out there. And another one that is heavily favored for us is the Gardevoir EX. Well, there is one big reason for that, and that is because Gardevoir is weak to darkness. And, well, all of our attackers are actually dark, so there's that. And another one that is kind of not very intuitive is the Grimmsnarl. We're also heavily favored into that. Why? Because we have the Cornerstone Mask Ogrepon, which can be, well, used to stall or wall their Grimmsnarl so they cannot attack, or we can just hit for really high numbers with the uh, with the Zoroarks copying the Ents Reshiram. For the bad matchups, unfortunately, there are quite a few of them. The first one is probably going to be the worst of them all because that is one of the biggest decks of this meta currently, and that is the Goldingo. Goldingo can hit for really high numbers. Discarding 6 energies is relatively seamless to them, and they need 6 energies to knock out, well, our Zoroarks. So that's gonna be a very tough matchup. Another very tough one is gonna be Crustle because, well, the only attacker that can hit Crustle in our deck is the Cornerstone Ogrepon, and not even the Cornerstone Ogrepon can one-hit Crustle, especially if they have something like a Luxurious Cape on. So that's a really, really tough one. Another one, Raging Bolt, because, well, they have the Teal Mask Ogrepons that can hit you for weakness, and they can hit you with Raging Bolts as well, which are also getting to those 280 relatively easily, because 4 energies is Sada plus 2 Teal Dances without even a hand attach, and you're there. Uh, Another kind of tough one is Charizard because, well, Charizard hits for really high numbers. We did make this matchup a lot better by including the Cornerstone, so we can try to do some really funny shenanigans with the Cornerstone in the active. But yeah, that's pretty much that. And another one that is kind of bad, and well, I'm gonna tell you why in just a second, is Joltik Box. Joltik Box is bad because for A, they have Iron Hands EX, which can knock out our single prizers and take 2 prizes for them. And another thing, once we evolve and we get the engine rolling, they have Pikachu that can, well, one hit anything that we have. So yeah, that's also not at all great. However, there is also one matchup that is kind of 50-50, and that is the Dragapult Charizard matchup. That one is the only one that is among the 50-50 lines that can really go both ways, that is not heavily favored for us or for them. So yeah, that is all for today. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and catch you next time.